The book of Acts, chapter 14 and verse 22, confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith, and that we must through much tribulation enter into the kingdom of the Most High. I'm going to stop right there. I want to start off as always by giving all praise, all honor, all glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak, Wadash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who teach and who rule well, who taught us this truth through the power and spirit of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And Lord willing, this lesson is edifying to the elect out there, whoever you might be. Shalom to 140 and 4,000. It's the brother Amawan Badah from the GMS Denver camp. Coming at you with another lesson. And I want to talk about the fact that we are getting ready to enter into the kingdom of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. All right. Finally, we are here. But understand what comes with that, man. It says through much tribulation, meaning we're going to be tried and tested. All right. As we see this society collapsing. All right. You understand that we will be in positions of difficulty, but nonetheless, we have the answer. We're going to call on Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. We know who's running the whole operation. It's the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And knowing is half the battle. The Lord has given us the understanding of why things are happening the way they're happening, while everybody else is crashing out in confusion. All right? We're going to understand why the famine is increasing. We're going to understand why, prices are rising, why food is becoming more expensive. We're going to understand all these things because this is required before we enter into the kingdom of our rest, man. Our rest is promised, man. Our rest is not in this society. We're not here to be comfortable. We're here to spread the message of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai and wait on our Savior, man, as he takes down Esau, Edom, the devil that the Bible speaks of, as he casts down these different heathen nations who have ruled over us for generations. We're at the end, man. It's over. Game over. And I was thinking this yesterday, last night as well. Man, it's over, man. If you can't see that this shit is over, you're spiritually dead, man. And that's the case of the majority of our people. But hey, blessed are your eyes for they see and your ears for they hear. All right? We got to hold on to the faith, man. That's our key. Having faith in Yahweh through his son, Yahweh Shai. That's what's going to get us through the tribulation. All right? Because right on the other side of this trying time is what? The kingdom. Joy, peace forever, man. Complete righteousness, rulership, and authority underneath Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. No more devil ruling over us, man. No more going to a 9 to 5. No more car notes and all that, chaos, man. This is what is on the other side of what we're getting ready to face, man. Understand and know that. All right? All right, so fair use, fair use. This is for educational purposes only. Fair use, fair use. All right, I'm not making any money off of this. This is for educational purposes only. So as you can see, I have a clip pulled up right here from Redacted, Redacted News with Clayton and Natalie Morris. And it says "End Game." All right, and they have a picture of the Strait of Hormuz over there in Iran. All right, that's what's causing a lot of these things to happen in the world. Prices of gas rising up. All right, sources being choked off, resources, should I say. All right, this is bringing in a lot of end time prophecy, man. It's really ultimately Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai bringing his end game. Because he's ending this corrupt, wicked society. And we're all for it, man. Finally, man. All right, but let's play a little bit of this right here. It says food and energy are on the verge of collapse. All right, let's get into it.
For weeks, we've talked about the food side of the Strait of Hormuz story, not just the oil, not just the gas prices, but the fertilizer, the shipping routes, the diesel, the natural gas, the basic inputs that, of course, keep the global food system moving. And now it's here. And the war with Iran has essentially pushed this crisis from a theory now into reality. The entire global economy starts seizing up, oil skyrocketing again. Here is... Look at this. The price of Brent crude jumped to $126 a barrel.
So you see this, right? All right. This is what's going on right now. While people are out here bullshitting around, looking for the next party, you know what I'm saying? You know, consumed with the cares of, the society that's fading away. Looking at these celebrities and all this bullshit, the bread and circus. Hey, the prophets are watching. All right, we're watching closely. We know what time it is, man. We know what season we're in. All right. Gas prices are damn near $5 over here in Colorado. Driving around yesterday, I was just looking at the different gas stations. And I think the highest I seen was like a $4.69 or $4.59 a gallon for unleaded. So, hey, man, we're going to continue to watch, man. But this is what's going on. Showing you that we're at the decline of this society, man. Okay.
Earlier today, and then fell back down to about 113, but hitting a high that we haven't seen for years today. Shipping insurance, of course, exploded and also being canceled, as we've highlighted here. The Lloyds of London canceling many of their insurance contracts through the Strait of Hormuz. Fertilizer prices surging, farmers getting squeezed, and food prices moving much, much higher now. And most of the infuriating part of all of this, of course, is none of this is a surprise. The people in power were warned about this. We warned about it here. Our next guest has been warning about it for years, even far longer than we have, by a landslide. Mike Adams is the founder of the Brighteon platforms, naturalnews.com. You might follow him on X under the Health Ranger. He has been out on this for years. Mike, great to have you back on the show.
It's great to join you again. Thanks for having me on.
Our pleasure. The FT, the Financial Times, had a pretty ominous story about a week ago. I just want to put up the headline here, the coming global food crisis. It's a real...
I'm going to pause it right there for a second. So right now they're talking about the food crisis, and the Lord tells us about famine. This is all being orchestrated by the Almighty. Esau and the elites are not doing nothing that the Lord has not allowed them and commanded them to do in the spirit. All right. You see, a lot of people, they will blame this on, oh, this is Satan. Yeah, well, look, understand that Satan is a spirit on the left-hand side that works for the Most High and Yahweh Shai. All right. Yahweh Shai, who you ignorantly call Jesus, is over Satan. All right. Satan has his job to do, but he is an employee. He's a son of Yahweh Shai. He's not doing anything outside of the will of the Almighty. He's called Satan to, bring forth these evil days, man, as judgment. All right. You see? So anyway, man, just wanted to bring that out, man. You got people out there praying for America and praying for the world. You know what I'm saying? Not knowing that this is the will of the Almighty, who you ignorantly call God and Jesus. You understand? The true name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh. And his son's name is Yahweh Shai. All right? Understand that. But yeah, man, look at this comment right here. I got it highlighted. Somebody put, this is not just a war on Iran. It's the war on the world by the elites. So people are becoming concerned. It says depopulate, starve us, take our taxes, depression, lockdown. Yep, that's what's coming. They have an agenda to depopulate. It's the Lord really depopulating. All right, he's just using Esau, Edom, the elites of these devils to do it. All right, Esau is nothing more than a tool, man. All right, let's prove that, man, because a lot of people don't understand that. Let's get that real quick in Psalm. All right, here we have the book of Psalms, chapter 17, verse 13. And it says, arise, O Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. So there you go. Lets you know that the wicked is a tool of the Almighty, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, the wicked being Esau, Edom, as it tells you in Malachi 1 and verse 4. All right, they are the border of wickedness. They have a purpose in the earth right now to be the wicked. You understand? So they're orchestrating all these things by the will of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. The elites are not doing their own thing. All right, so back in these comments, check it out. The very next person says, gonna be fun when they implement RFID chips and New World Order. When are y'all in USA gonna 1776 and take back the world's freedom? So pretty much this dude right here is inciting sedition, which is gonna happen because that's also end time prophecy. Look, man, everything is happening damn near at the same time, man. He mentioned the RFID microchip right here. That's talking about the mark of the beast, spoken of in Revelation chapter 13. All right, verse 16 on down, it goes into that. We talk about that quite often here at Great Millstone because it's getting ready to happen as we told you it would. The Lord is bringing an end to this shit, man. Our captivity is damn near over. This oppression is almost over, man. Yahweh Shai will be here with the host of heaven very soon. All right, we just gotta hold on and keep this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, which will be the stability of our times. Let's get that in Isaiah. Here it is right here. The book of Isaiah, chapter 33 and verse 6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, is his treasure. That's right, man. All right. Wisdom and knowledge of the prophecies, understanding the will of the Almighty Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, is going to keep us stable in these times of chaos and turmoil. You understand? The Lord has given us the true understanding of why things are happening the way they're happening. We see it. The Lord is controlling this demolition of the prison house, man, being America, Babylon the Great, and this whole global beast system that they're getting ready to try to put online here very soon. He's going to cause it to malfunction because the Lord is not going to allow Esau to enslave the entire world and have RFID microchips and all the people. Nah, man, it ain't going down like that. We understand that this shit is not going to, take full effect, though he's going to try to bring it. All right, the Lord's going to upset his plans. We know this, man, through the scriptures. That's going to keep us stable. All right, knowing that Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is in total control. You see, we're not going to bow the knee to Esau in this beast system. We're not going to take the RFID microchip, Lord willing, because Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is going to have that fear in us, man. See, the fear of the Lord is a treasure. The fear of the Lord is going to cause you to be obedient to the point where you're going to deny bowing down to Esau's system. The fear of the Lord is going to, have us in great boldness in these last days. All right, we fear Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, not Esau and his threats to try to starve us out and to, bring us to these different facilities, because they're going to do that. They're going to start rounding people up. We're in that time. All right, threatening people with death and torture and whatnot. That's what he's finna do. But we're going to be stable-minded because we fear Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and he's blessed us with this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And we know that Esau doesn't win. We're getting ready to see miracles. We're in that time. You understand? It's over, man. It's over for this devil. All right, let's play a little bit more of this. I'm not going to play the entire clip. It's 30 minutes, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, I'm not going to play the entire video, but we'll check out a little bit more of this from Redacted.
Interesting read, but I think one of the most interesting parts of this article stood out to me. The disruption is especially dangerous because it hits before the harvests that are coming in the fall. Higher fertilizer prices now and the lockdown now means that farmers use less fertilizer, don't have access to it, which means they plant less, which means they produce much less food. And then, so we might not see it on our store shelves at the moment, but this is the cascading effect. What do you think about that?
Well, we will be impacted in Western countries, even in the United States. Although we won't face mass starvation in America, we will face much higher food prices.
All right, let me stop this Edomite real quick. Let me stop him in his tracks. So he just got done saying something that was very proud. He said, you're not going to experience starvation in America. That's a damn lie. All right, and that's the pride of these devils. And a lot of you Americans, you believe that you will never have to experience famine. Man, let me rewind that real quick. Let me rewind this dude real quick. All right, let's play that one more time.
Even in the United States, although we won't face mass starvation in America, we will face much higher food prices. But there.
Yeah, all right, let's get a quick precept. Hold on. I got to. I must be allowed to bring this out. Bear with me. All right, so peep this. The book of Isaiah, chapter 47. And I'm going to actually read verse 1 and jump down to the point I want to make, because it's just that powerful, all right? So Isaiah 47 and verse 1, it says, "Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon." Who is that referring to? That's code name in prophetic speak for America, all right? The daughter of Babylon. It's not talking about ancient Babylon, all right? This place known as America, Babylon the Great is on its way out, man. It says sit on the ground. All right. It says, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. You see that? The Lord is casting this place down. That's what it means by come down, sit in the dust. Dust meaning confusion. You understand? Okay, so let's go ahead and read this. It says, verse 2, take the millstones and grind meal, uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. And that's, pretty much speaking on the state that America's going to come to, man. All right, the Lord is going to bring America, down to its knees, man, exposing it. You see, because when you make bare the leg, especially in a battle, all right, it makes you vulnerable for attack. Okay, and America is vulnerable, man. It's at its weakest state, man. It's gonna only become weaker as time progresses. All right. Verse 3, it says, thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Yeah, that's right, man. They're being exposed, man. They're naked in front of the eyes of the world. It's being the problem of the earth. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Yeah, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. It's going into Yahushua returning, ultimately in the midst of World War III, all right, with the host of heaven to demolish America, Babylon the Great. Understand? And he's coming back as an angelic, destructive force. He's not coming back how he came back over 2,000 years ago when he was on the earth as a man. He was in the same flesh that we're in now. All right? To be a sacrifice for the nation of Israel. All right, you so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, Seminole Indians out there, you Israelite foreigners. But now he's coming back to take vengeance upon all his enemies, especially here in America, Babylon the Great. All right, well, let's check it out. Verse 4 says, as for our Redeemer, the Lord Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua, host is his name, the Holy One of Israel. Not the Holy One of all the heathen and all the other nations. Nah, the nation of Israel is who the Lord is dealing with. And the elect at that. Verse 5, sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called the lady of kingdoms. There it is right there. Sit thou silent and get thee in the darkness. The Lord is going to cut the lights out here in America, Babylon the Great. It's time for the whore to be silenced, man. And that's what's happening as we speak. The whore being America, Babylon the Great. Okay? This place is no more being called the Lady of Kingdoms. All right? This place is on a decline. People are noticing it, man. It's, you go downtown to a lot of these cities and you see a lot of homeless people, man, on drugs, on fentanyl. All right, the streets got potholes in it. Everything here is a scam. Foods are GMO. All right, even more so than other nations, man. This place is a cesspool, man. All right. I was wroth with my people. I have polluted mine inheritance and given them into thine hand. Thou didst show them no mercy. Upon the ancient hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke. That's right, we're oppressed here. Even the old of our people are oppressed here, still having to work, when they're up in age, man. That's captivity. Here it is, you 70 years old, working at Walmart or whatever, still having to work to sustain yourself in your old age. That's despicable, man. All right. And it's because Esau didn't show us no mercy. The Lord gave us into his hand as a punishment. All right. But now he's getting ready to pay Esau back for all the shit that he's done. All right. Verse 7, it says, and thou saidest, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it. All right. And that's how these damn proud ass devils feel like America is going to continue on. They're going to come out of this war victorious and rise like the phoenix from the ashes. No, y'all asses is getting ready to go into captivity. All right. And if you're on the soils of America, Babylon the Great, when it's all said and done with, if you're, not of the elect of the nation of Israel, you're going to die here. That's your fate. Only the elect of the nation of Israel will make it out of America. All right. This is going to be completely demolished. All right. That's the latter end of America, Babylon the Great. But they're not laying it to their heart, man. They're not even considering that. Verse 8. Therefore, hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures, that dwellest carelessly, that saith in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. And that's the sentiment that dude, Mike Adams, that Edomite that you saw on that show, was coming in. We're not going to have famine or wide, starvation here in America. All right, that's what he said. He said we're gonna, probably experience food, prices go up, but we're not gonna, witness mass starvation. You got your damn mind. All right, you're gonna experience all these bad things here in the near future on a higher level than everybody else, because America is the prime offender against Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. So the plagues are getting ready to slap this bitch hard, man. Verse 9. But these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day: the loss of children, all right, death, and widowhood. All right, the men are going to be cast off to that war to die. There'll be a lot of single women. They shall come upon thee in their perfection for the multitude of thy sorceries and for the great abundance of thine enchantments. You see that? So their pride is going to be rewarded, man. The pride of his heart has deceived him. All right. Esau thinks that he's never going to be taken down in his own stupid ass mind. And that's why that Edomite got up on there and said that, how he said it. Which, is crazy. So let's play that one more time. I want to hear him say it one more time, man. Check it out.
Even in the United States, although we won't face mass starvation in America, we will face much higher food prices, but there will be mass starvation in other countries around the world. And research leads to being able to identify exactly which countries those are. That includes the Sudan, it includes Yemen, it includes Bangladesh. There are risks in India, risks.
No, it's going to be here in America. All right. Don't let this dude fool you.
Even in Egypt and many other countries that are they have tens of millions of people that are just marginally getting by every single year. Many of those people are in states of famine every year, and they would die if not for food aid, but that food aid will not be nearly as available or affordable. So the food aid organizations around the world are going to be wrecked. Now there's actually there's a double threat here that your audience needs to keep in mind. Number one is, of course, fertilizer exports from countries like China and Russia have been halted. So when India went to China and said, hey, we need some fertilizer in order to feed our people, China said, sorry, we have to keep it for ourselves domestically. But then there are countries like Bangladesh that have their own fertilizer production plants using the Haber-Bosch process that converts natural gas into ammonia and urea. But you need natural gas as the feedstock. And of course, natural gas is not shipping. Qatar Energy has declared force majeure on their commitments. So even if you have a fertilizer plant in your country, you don't get fertilizer right now. So it's a double hit on these countries. And the bottom line is that literally hundreds of millions of people are about to be thrust into extreme famine and real starvation deaths later this year and well into 2027.
So you heard that, man. They're talking about anticipating mass starvation this year, later on this year. It don't take long, man. Now we understand that Esau is going to cut off the food supply, all right, here for you people, because the food never really fully disappears, man. The Lord created this earth to have food on it for us to be able to, eat, man. But this damn devil, being the devil that he is going to cut off the supply to you, average people, to bring what? His new world order. All right, they want people to bow the knee to their system. He going to hoard all the food to himself and be the only one to be able to distribute it. In order to receive that, you're going to have to do what? Get down with his bullshit New World Order. And the elect are not going for it. But this is where we're at with it. They're getting ready to bring this, man. You can't see it because we're in the end. Esau is going to do everything the Lord told us that he would do. All right? In the scriptures. All right, here we have the book of Micah, chapter 2 and verse 1. It says, woe, means destruction, judgment, to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it. because it is in the power of their hand. That's going into Esau. That applies to Esau, Edom, the elites of these damn devils, orchestrating these calamities. All right, they're using that age-old tactic, order out of chaos. They bring forth, chaos, so they can bring their quote-unquote solution, which would be the New World Order, taking complete control of the people. All right, digitally enslaving everyone on the earth. All right, choking off the food supply to hoard all the good shit to themselves, man. That's what they're planning on doing. These elites of Esau plan on enslaving the population and hoarding all the resources for themselves. All right, Klaus Schwab, the former leader of the World Economic Forum, came out and said, "You will own nothing and be happy." That's what they want you to be. Complete slaves, owning nothing and going along with the program. All right, that's their plan. That's their plan of iniquity. But it says, "Woe unto them," meaning the Lord gonna destroy their ass, man. It tells you about that in the book of Job. The Lord disappoints the devices of the crafty, so that his hands cannot perform his enterprise. All right, so they lose, man. All right, but they're orchestrating this, and they're bringing it forth. We're watching their plans being brought out. It says, "And they covet fields and take them by violence." Getting ready to see a lot of violence coming in the near future, man. Martial law, troops in the streets, detention centers, all that shit, man. Draconian laws being passed. This is what's on the books, right? And houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. That's the point right here, man. This is end time prophecy, because we're in the end, man. This shit is over. All of you out there thinking that you got some kind of future here in America, you are out of your mind and you don't understand what time you're in. All right. But yeah, man, these devils are orchestrating chaos, black swan events, false flags being carried out in these last days. We're seeing it in the news. Just recently, I did a video talking about the whole incident where those You Wish people were attacked in London or in the UK. All right. That, I believe, is a staged event. The whole situation with that man running through the security at that meeting with Donald Trump. All right. Everybody's coming out saying that was a staged event. Why? Because they're devising these different things to happen to do what? To further take away your rights, to further enslave you. But guess what? This is a necessary must before we enter into the kingdom. And I got a couple of more. We're going to wrap it up. All right, it's one of my favorites right here, man. And it's a heavy hitter, all right? The book of Isaiah, chapter 10 and verse 20. "And it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel," right, the elect, "and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob, shall no more again stay upon him that smote them, but shall stay upon the Lord Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, the Holy One of Israel, in truth." Man, you hear that? Because we're coming into the time of us being released from our captivity. No more depending and trusting in Esau's corrupt system. Because right now, all right, we're under the curses, man, spoken of in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. All right, the Lord said that if we rebelled against him, we would go into captivity, have to be underneath a perverse nation, being the Edomites, and we would have to go to our enemy for the want of all things. We got to go to Esau's stores to buy food. We got to go to his car dealerships. We got to go to this devil for everything, man. But that time is coming to an end. We're going to have our own. We're going to own the resources, man. Upon the return of our Lord Yahweh Shai, that's what's being orchestrated right now. All right, that's the end game for us. All right, as the Lord is demolishing this shit, he's allowing Esau to think that he's going to get his new world order off the ground and be successful with it, only to take his ass down, to establish the true kingdom wherein dwelleth righteousness, man, where we're going to be on top, man. So we're being brought out of captivity. All right, the elect understand this, and we have, Lord willing, we're the elect. We have a different mindset of the time we're coming into. We know that this is a means to an end of the bullshit. Okay? We're going to completely depend on Yahweh Bashem Yahushai from here on out. So it will behoove you to take your mind and spirit out of this place, man. It's dead. All right. This society is dead. It's just, on its last few breaths. Okay. So I'm gonna bring this out. This is the book of Jeremiah, the 30th chapter, man. Highly prophetic. All right. The prophet Jeremiah, and he speaks on the days that we're in now. All right, let's jump down to the point here. I'm gonna read verse 4. I'll start at verse 4. Matter of fact, I'm gonna start at verse 1. Let's get it. The word that came to Jeremiah from the Lord Yahweh, Bashmi Shah, saying, Thus speaketh the Lord power of Israel, saying, Write thee all the words that I have spoken unto thee in a book. For lo, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, Bashmi Shah, that I will bring again the captivity of my people Israel and Judah. What does that mean? He's going to bring again the captivity, meaning he's going to turn it back. He's going to reverse our captivity. All right. You see, the people of Israel being the northern kingdom. All right. Judah being the southern kingdom. All right. That includes, the northern kingdom being the so-called Latino Native American tribes. The southern kingdom, Judah, being the so-called Negro tribes. They're getting ready to be relieved from we're getting ready to be relieved from our captivity. All right. Starting with the elect. Now it says, saith the Lord Yahweh, Bashmi Shah, and I will cause them to return to the land that I gave to their fathers, and they shall possess it. That's talking about us going back home. This is not our home. America is not our origin. We didn't originate here in America. All right? We originated in Israel. That's our land. And when it's all said and done with, we're going to be brought back to that land by our Lord Yahweh Shai. That's what's going down. That's the process we're in right now. Though it's turbulent and chaotic, this is what's going on. Verse 4. And these are the words that the Lord Yahweh Bashmi Shah spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah. All right. But thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bashmi Shah, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. Because we're in a time of war, man. We're in a time of chaos and calamity. We're in a time of the Lord's judgment, man. Getting ready to see mass death, starvation being one of the methods that the Lord's going to depopulate the earth with, man. All right. Teeth of wild beasts, civil unrest, race war, all that shit, man. It's in the scriptures. Okay. You see? And we're ready. We're preparing for it as much as we can spiritually, man. The Lord going to make sure that we, are able to get through this, man. He ain't going to give us more than we can handle, as it tells you in 1 Corinthians 10 and 13. But we're in that time. Verse 6, it says, Ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. So we're coming into a time where you're going to have grown-ass men, tough guys, being scared and holding their stomachs like women giving birth because of the fear that's getting ready to come upon the earth, man. You understand? It's going to take Yahweh Bashmi Shah to keep us in our right mind. You understand? That's how bad it's finna get out here. And we're here to, to give you the warning, man. Unlike a lot of these groups out here, they're not telling their people what's getting ready to fucking happen. We're at the breaking point of all this taking place, man. Okay? Great fear is coming upon, this society, man. Verse 7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. So that's talking about the elect of the nation of Israel. Jacob represents the nation of Israel. All right, the elect are going to be saved out of the coming perils. All right, the wicked of our people who have rejected this word, who the Lord has ultimately rejected, what's going to happen to them? They're going to get caught up in all this shit. All right, it's a scary, scary case to be in. We just pray that the Lord Yahweh Bashmi Shai continue to have mercy on us, man, and preserve us from these things that are coming upon the earth. It's going to be bad, man. A time like none other, as it said right here. A time like none other. Worse than slavery, worse than, World War I, World War II, and all the other calamities that took place in times past. This time we're coming into is going to be worse than all of that, man. All right, understand. But what does it say here? For it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord Yahweh, Bashmi Shah of hosts, that I will break his yoke from off thy neck, and will burst thy bonds, and strangers shall no more serve themselves of him. All right, you see that? What is that talking about? It's talking about the Lord busting us out of this captivity. So all these calamities, this mass death and chaos must happen. All right, to free us from this captivity, man, to burst the bonds, to break the chains from off of us as a people. This must take place, so we understand why it's happening. All right, and I got one more, man. We're gonna wrap it up, and we'll close with matter of fact, we'll close with this right here. The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6 and verse 9. All right, heavy hitter. You should know this one. All right, for Esau, all right, the so-called white man, is the end of the world. Right, he's the end of the age. And Jacob, all right, the Israelites, is the beginning of it that followeth. What is that talking about? That's talking about a transition of power. We're coming out of the age of the Edomites ruling the earth in wickedness and in terror. And we're coming into the age of righteousness, man, in which the seed of Jacob, all right, the Israelites are going to be ruling underneath Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. That's the next age, the eternal age of righteousness. We're coming into that. The kingdom of heaven will be on the earth. All right, you understand? We're going to come into authority. That's what's next. Esau and the heathen are going to be cast down. It's over for him, man. And we can see it clearly, man. All right. So, hey, rejoice because our salvation is drawing nigh. This hell is almost over. All right. Endure. Keep the faith, man. Hold on to Yahweh Shai. He is the way, the truth, and the life for us. So I'm in this lesson right here. Lord willing, let we're edified. I want to give all praise, all honor, all glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachah Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who teach and who rule well, who taught us this truth through the power and spirit of Yahweh Bahashem Shai. Hey, the Lord got us, man. Keep the faith. Call me Asherala in the Bible. Bar Shalom to the elect.